This last year has been wild. I've gone through more growth and change than ever before, and so many unpredictable things that forced me out of my comfort zone. If you are new here, my name is Kimberly June. You can call me KJ. I am a singer-songwriter, artist, multi-passionate creative, a health and wellness adventurer. I'm always learning, always growing, and I love connecting with people on here. If you're into music, wellness, travel, and just real talk, then this channel might be for you. And if you want to subscribe, you can stay updated with my adventures. Oh my gosh, I gotta take this off because it's making too much noise. I'm feeling camera shy. Maybe if I sit on one leg, it'll help. Okay. So last year in 2024, I decided to spend more time in Nashville, Tennessee, after living in Hawaii for 11 years. I came here with not much of a plan, just to get back to creating with other people. And within a couple weeks of settling in, I got a call from Nahko, and he asked me to go on tour with him all over the US as his supporting act. It was so much fun, and the funny thing is, I've been making a lot of money over the years playing cover gigs. I came to Nashville thinking, okay, I'll get back to playing cover gigs. I will collaborate, write songs with people. And God was like, no, you're supposed to be yourself, and threw me onto this tour. And I am so, so grateful because it really initiated me into a whole new confidence in my artistry. I've been playing and writing music for over 20 years. I am 37. I know it doesn't look like it. I take good care of myself. I can make another video about that another time. So I went on tour with Nahko and was nervous at first. I've been playing music for so long. For some reason, getting on stage and having lights on me and being the center of attention and everyone's holding on to my every word was making me nervous. But a couple years ago, I decided I was no longer going to have stage fright. I made a choice to overcome it, and I worked on it. I practiced with a coach for a few sessions. I started speaking between songs more and just turning a couple phrases into a whole minute story. And little by little, a little late in the game, I learned how to just be myself. And I'm still working on it. The experience was absolutely incredible. Nahko is an incredible person, and I just really enjoyed getting closer to him. And it instilled a new confidence in me and lit a fire under my ass. I recorded and released 5 new singles. I'm really proud of them. I can go into more detail about the actual tour and how it was touring with Nahko on another video. This video is going to be about my last year and how the universe put me on pause. After the tour, I decided to invest in a program to help me with my public speaking because I feel like that is one of the missing links between where I am and where I want to go. Learning how to be comfortable just expressing myself without overthinking, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I decided to focus on writing my next album, finding the right producer, put my head down. I was in hermit mode. I was extremely focused, locked in. And one week this early spring, a series of events happened that kind of knocked me off my axis. On my way home from my grandmother's funeral, my mother tells me that her and my father are getting divorced. They have been together since they were 16 and 19 years old, obviously for my whole life, and I was shocked. I didn't really expect to feel that kind of grief. I knew that they had been living in a kind of roommate dynamic for a long time, but I guess I just never expected the actual divorce to happen. It took me a few days of crying to really just let it sink in. My relationship with both of my parents is very strong, but it was just something I was not expecting. In the same week, my caretaker for my Airbnb business in Hawaii gave me a 1 month's notice that she was leaving and moving to Idaho. I had assumed that she was staying longer and that I had time to continue focusing on my music. And all of a sudden, it felt like the rug got pulled out from under me. I had to go figure out, am I going to sell this business in Hawaii, or am I going to go keep it afloat by myself? How am I going to find somebody to replace her? It took me so long to find somebody that I actually trusted with my business, and now she's leaving. Honestly, I did not expect to feel the grief that I have been dealing with this divorce. I feel like I'm a little kid again, and as kids, we just want everyone to get along, and we can't understand, why people can't work things out. The vision that I had of what my future was going to look like visiting with my parents and being a family unit in one location was taken away. They are both peaceful about it and cordial about everything, and they seem very happy with the situation. It's just weird. It's just going to take time to get used to, and I know it will be better this way. When I was 27 years old, I was going through my dark night and was cracked open to a whole new reality. And it was digging myself out of this depression that really gave me a new confidence and helped me find God again in myself and everywhere. I know that sounds very vague, and the word God is triggering to people. I guess you can call it what you like. It's a word I'm going to use, but you can replace it with universe, source, quantum physics, whatever works for you. The higher power. And what I'm learning is that different perceived tragedies will break different parts of your heart. They say the first cut is the deepest. And that is true in the sense that once you've felt a certain kind of heartbreak and you get over it, you don't hurt as deeply the second time that same spot gets hit. Grief is complicated, and there's so many pockets and corners of your heart that can get broken by different situations. For example, I've never lost a parent, so I don't know what that feels like, and I'm going to find out, and that's going to shatter a different part of me that I have not felt yet, and just thinking about it is making my lip quiver, so let's just stop. The kind of heartbreak I felt from relationships is much different than the kind of heartbreak I'm feeling about my parents, and it's just complicated. So I had this big grand idea of what I was going to do with my spring, and I ended up feeling crippled in indecision about what to do with my business while I was feeling this unexpected grief. I went to Maine, I spent time with them in the house that I thought would be the forever home, and I just soaked up every minute of it. And then I helped get boxes and started packing. I've realized in my life I feel things so deeply. I am actually very sensitive. On the outside I can come off as a tough cookie, but I'm very soft inside. I tend to obsess and really analyze and process things thoroughly. I'm not the kind of person that jumps from relationship to relationship. I take time in between to really integrate and just make sure that I feel whole. So I'm coming from I basically upgrade myself in between each relationship. This divine pause, I will call it, has been very humbling. I'm allowing myself the time and the grace. I can happily say I am starting to feel like myself again and creating, and I've picked up the guitar. There she is. The new music I am writing resonates so deeply with my soul. I'm really excited to share it, and a lot of it is like a prayer. Some of it is me talking to myself saying, you're doing a great job, and some of it is, God, give me the courage to share what's inside me. I'm here for it, and I'm all in. Honestly, when I'm feeling anxious and depressed, I don't even want to pick up my guitar. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't feel like doing anything. But you know what this pause did for me? It helped me really reassess the why behind everything I'm doing. Who does it glorify? why am I doing what I do? And where do I feel the most fulfilled? And where do I feel the most at home and the most seen and the most expressive and celebrated and wholehearted? This sacred pause has given me the opportunity to reassess what I want my life to look like. And is this it? Is it spending time in Nashville and Hawaii and going back and forth? Is there another place on the mainland that I will resonate with more? I'm strongly thinking so. And that is why I'm going to be a little bit more mobile this year. So much has been up in the air in my life the last few years. I feel like I've just been hovering above the ground, and all I want to do is settle, but I have not found the place that I want to do that. So this next year is going to be quite an adventure. I'm hesitant to even mention my plan because I know that God is scheming right now. My whole life I've anticipated judgment and just looking wild and crazy for living such an unconventional life. I anticipated so much backlash when I decided to choose music as my path in college. I held it in. I tried so many other routes because I just thought I was going to disappoint my parents if I chose something artistic. And I just called them crying after my first week of college and said, I'm so sorry, but I have to do music. And they were like, cool, sounds good. And that pretty much sums up what usually happens when I just tell my parents exactly how I'm feeling and what I want. They are so supportive and they just want me to be happy. So today on the phone, I told my dad, I don't know where I want to live. And I told him that I want to get a van and I want to do van life and find my next home. And it felt so good to tell him I don't know where I want to be and have him be okay with it. Because that is probably a scary thing to hear from your child, but they're so used to it. I have already trained them. I mean, I was the wild child. They had to put up with a lot, and I don't think anything I do will ever surprise them. I've got stories for days, so more on the wild child stuff later, another video. I'll spill all the tea. Another journey I have been on this year is just noticing what addictions I have. So the last few years, I have been drinking way, way less, and I am actually 65 days sober right now. And being completely sober, I also notice what other addictions I have. Scrolling on my phone and just snacking, standing at the counter and doing a million things at once, carrying all this shit in my arms. I call these moments Along Came Polly moments. Have you seen that movie with Jennifer Aniston and Ben Stiller? And she's just kind of like a high-strung, she kind of reminds me of me sometimes. And I'm always trying to do so many things at once, and I'm carrying like a million things under my arm instead of just having a bag with everything in it. It's chaotic, and I don't want that energy in my life anymore. So I'm trying to clean up my car, clean out my cabinets, just clean out my stuff. Even toiletries, like I love little free samples and cute little travel bottles because I love to travel and I just collect them. And all of a sudden I have this massive box of free samples and it just makes me feel so cluttery and heavy. So I am striving for less Along Came Polly moments and more poise, stillness, just feeling more classy, even though I'm still going to wear my graphic tees and I've got my tattoos and my jewelry. I just want to feel a little bit more peaceful, less chaos, more alignment. When I catch myself reaching and grasping for things and needing the next distraction, I'm trying to just take a deep breath, align myself, and ask why. I want to pay attention to what is working against me. Is having 2 cups of coffee working against me? Yes, it's making me anxious and jittery. Having 1 cup of coffee that is delayed in the morning instead of right when I wake up seems to be the perfect amount for me to feel clear and focused and not jittery. I call these enemies, enemies to the life that I'm trying to create. Impulses, addictions, obsessions, scrolling on my phone endlessly, enemy. Food that takes life from me instead of giving me life, enemy. Food that slows me down during the daytime. I can have a little bit of a heavier meal at night because I'm going to sleep anyway, but if I'm gonna eat lunch and then all of a sudden my brain is foggy and I feel heavy and sluggish and tired, then that probably was not a very productive lunch. Engaging in situations and conversations that make me feel ugly or unaligned, where I am either puffing up or shrinking, as Brene Brown would say, enemy. And even just trying to keep myself busy instead of actually tackling the big hairy goal. Calling this big hairy, like, hey, it's Big Harry, are we still on for today? That's going to keep happening. Big Harry's not going to go away, so you might as well just make friends with Big Harry so that you don't have to keep getting anxious. Does that make sense? This chapter is about sharing. I spend so much time creating and not releasing it to the world. My stories and my experiences can help others feel less alone, and my thoughts are not unique to me. So many of us are going through the same kinds of things. I mean, I didn't even realize one of my really close friends, he went through his parents getting divorced when he was in his 30s too. And it's just something that I didn't even know we would have in common, and it was really comforting to hear his story, and he had some great words of wisdom for me. Anyway, this is more like an introductory video because I am going to be posting so much more, and now you know what's going on in my life currently. 2025 has been a lesson in humility and surrender, and just God laughs at your plans. If you want to watch this journey, find out about my van and where I end up and new songs and upcoming shows and just whatever the hell's going on in my life and in my mind, just subscribe, like this video, and if there's anything in particular you want to hear about, please mention it in the comments below or send me a message. Comment below what has been your biggest lesson so far in 2025. I want to hear it. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, it's at justkj.love, JUSTKJ.love. The link is below.